Hi everyone. This video provides a walkthrough of an engagement within the Accessibility Resource Center, the ARC platform. An agenda for our walkthrough: 1. Overview. 2. Getting started in ARC. 3. Engagement dashboard. 4. Remediation. 5. Getting support. And 6. Sharing engagement results.
Overview.
Engagement is a manual audit conducted by TPGI's accessibility experts. You may have received manual audits before, but what makes an engagement different is that it's comprehensive. Now, what do I mean by that? While some manual audits are simply a list of issues, an engagement is a manual audit with remediation guidance combined with the Accessibility Resource Center, ARC. ARC is a web platform which provides the tools and resources to plan and execute your remediation. ARC provides training modules, resources to perform manual testing on your own, automated monitoring to track progress on remediation, and direct support from the engineers who perform the audit. For sharing outside of ARC, the audit's results are available in 3 downloadable formats, each intended for different audiences. Plus, the results could be exported using ARC's API. With an engagement, your team has taken an important step towards delivering an accessible online experience. Now let's delve into an engagement in ARC.
Getting started in ARC.
To view an engagement in ARC, you must have a user seat. When added to an ARC account, you'll receive an email with a link to sign in and a temporary password, which expires after 24 hours. Once you log in, you'll be prompted to create a permanent password. Now, the email address is case sensitive, so be sure to double check the email address used for your account. One highlight from this email: you have the option to join a live ARC onboarding session. It's free, it's held multiple times per month, it's a great way to get a survey of the platform. The Welcome to ARC email contains a link to register. Now let's go to ARC at tpgarc.com. In the Site Center navigation, select Sign In. This opens a dialog with the login form. Enter your credentials, and let's proceed to ARC. If you don't yet have an ARC user seat, talk to the person at your organization who's managing your accessibility initiative. If your account has seats available, they may add you as a user. Now let's look at how to add a user. So from ARC, the navigation bar, select Settings, and in the secondary navigation, select Users. If your account has seats available, you'll see an Add User button here at the top of the user listing section. Now in ARC, there are 2 classes of users, or in ARC terms, credential types: admins and team members. Admins have full ARC privileges. They can create workspaces, monitoring dashboards, they can add and delete users from the account. Team members have only viewing privileges, and admins set which workspaces team members have access to. Team members can't initiate scans, however, they can create help desk tickets. Before we go further in ARC, it's important to understand your subscription. Now let's view the makeup of your subscription. From here in Settings, in the secondary navigation, select Subscription. The subscription page states the subscription tier, the number of seats in your account, the monthly limits for number of URLs or components scanned, and for API calls. ARC has multiple subscription tiers, including a free tier. ARC features such as the knowledge base and monitoring come with any paid ARC subscription. If you have questions about your subscription, reach out to your TPGI account manager. Now back to ARC's homepage. Before starting work on your engagement, equip your team with the companion tools to ARC. At the end of the homepage, the resources section contains links to download these tools. First, ARC Toolkit is a free Chrome extension to run automated scans on whatever is open within your browser. With Toolkit, run scans on demand whenever you want, and you can visually inspect the issues reported by ARC monitoring. Next, the Color Contrast Analyzer. Type in color values, or use its eyedropper tool to grab any 2 pixels on your screen and compare their color contrast. The CCA is also free. Lastly, JAWS Inspect. You can easily generate a transcript of how JAWS reads a page in a single click. JAWS Inspect requires a license. Moving on, up the page. From the ARC navigation bar, Tutor is a set of self-paced accessibility training modules. What's great is that they're role-based. Teams perform remediation more accurately and effectively when they have a foundation of accessibility knowledge. Before starting your engagement, take advantage of these resources. Each module probably takes 15 minutes to maybe an hour to consume. These training modules prepare you for an accessibility certification, such as from the IAAP. Now on to workspaces. Workspaces are really the center of activity within ARC. From the ARC navigation bar, let's select Workspaces. Workspaces organize your ARC account in two ways. First, each workspace is focused on a single domain or product, and a workspace contains the monitoring and engagements for that product. And second, each workspace has its own permission system. Admins on the account control which users on the account have access to a workspace. So let's select our workspace, Central Point. The workspace opens with the Overview tab selected, which provides cumulative information about the workspace. Now we'll select the Engagements tab. For our walkthrough, our engagement is the Central Point application. Now let's open the engagement and navigate through the audit's results.
Engagement dashboard.
The engagement dashboard is the starting point for navigating the audit's results. Let's collapse the navigation so we have more real estate. At the start, the engagement details section indicates the start and end date for testing. The section could have information about steps to reach the application, the test credentials, and assistive technologies and browsers, which were used for testing, and other additional notes. Note that the analytics engine is ARC Rules. ARC Rules has both manual and automated rules. An engagement provides full coverage, testing an application against both the manual and automated rules. ARC monitoring and toolkits scan using ARC's automated rules alone. Scrolling down the page, the audit's results are visualized in two different ways, which can be useful for understanding the audit at an aerial level. Moving on, the engagement summary summarizes the audit again in different ways. The By Component tab lists the components evaluated in the audit. Now, let's understand what the numbers mean for each row. Think of the failures column as the number of elements in that component which fail a WCAG success criteria. Think of the errors or alerts columns as the number of rules which were failed. For example, for login page, there are a total of 16 failures, 16 elements which fail one of 9 accessibility rules. Now, note the first row is common issues. These are global issues, issues which are found across all the test samples. An example of a common issue might be all pages lacking an adequate page title. These are great issues to prioritize first. Now, the issues can also be sorted by user flow. Each user flow comprises perhaps multiple components. And lastly, the Findings tab, which provides our engineers' conclusions after completing the audit. Our engineers summarize the audit and they call out the highest priority issues, the ones to work on first. If you're looking to share a short paragraph about the audit's outcomes, you might use this Findings section. Now, before we drill down into the component dashboard, one more thing. In engagement documents, the audit's results are presented in 3 other downloadable formats. We'll discuss these formats, the report, workbook, and presentation, later in this video. Now, let's drill down into a component evaluated in the audit. I'll select Login Page. The component details section with its screenshot and source code helps you be sure of what was tested for the component. Your engagement may also have JAWS speech output. Using JAWS Inspect, testers provide a transcript of how JAWS read the entire component. Scroll down the page, more ways to slice and dice the data for this component alone. Let's select the Input has no accessible name assertion. In the assertion section, TPGI's experts describe the issue, and in the recommendation section provide step-by-step remediation guidance. Sometimes there may be a list of publicly available resources. All of the content in this assertion section is also provided in the downloadable Word report and Excel workbook. Following the recommendation, each error which failed the rule is listed with its HTML code snippet and a location for the elements on the page, an XPath. From the issue description and the HTML code snippet, you'll probably know where the elements are on the page, but the XPath provides another way to locate them. An XPath is the exact address for an HTML node on a web page. Now let's use an XPath to locate one of our errors on the page. Step 1, copy the XPath to your clipboard. Step 2, open the components in a new tab. I already have it open. Step 3, let's open Chrome Developer Tools. You can right-click the page and select Inspect in the menu. Step 4, let's click within the Elements panel and press Ctrl F as in Find. Let's paste in the XPath. If the Elements is on the page, it'll be highlighted. And there it is. Now that we've located the element, let's demonstrate how to effectively solve this issue using Arc's tools and resources.
Remediation.
The main strength of working with the engagement within the Arc platform, rather than the downloadable report or workbook, is that each issue is paired with select resources from Arc's knowledge base. Resources only available within the platform. Now, beyond the expert advice provided by TPGI's engineers, these resources facilitate a 3-step process to address an audit finding: understand, test, and solve. Now let's select the Knowledge Base Resources tab and demonstrate. Step 1, understand. The WCAG reference module provides a summary of the guideline that this issue violates. Bottom line, remediation is more straightforward when your team understands the guideline and why this kind of issue matters. In this case, 4.1.2 name, role, and value. If you want to understand the guideline more fully, there's a link to the official WCAG documentation. WCAG is a legal and governmental document. It's got jargon. It's not something you just read casually. This summary is a great way to rapidly understand the guideline. Moving on. Step 2, test. The WCAG Test web module provides our manual testing procedures for this guideline. With this resource, you can replicate TPGI's internal testing processes. This helps you reproduce the issue beyond the description provided by TPGI's engineers. For example, for 4.1.2 name, role, value, we have multiple test procedures. One could use DevTools or a screen reader to reproduce the issue. Step 3, solve. In the assertions section, written by our engineers, they provide their recommendations. That's your best bet for understanding how to solve the issue. Nonetheless, the knowledge-based resources from the accessible web development or design modules provide functional code examples, expected behaviors, and more. Here we see the solution is to use the label element and associate the label with the text input. Now this leads to an inevitable question. How do you know when you've solved one of the issues from the engagement? Well, once you believe you've fixed the issue, apply the WCAG Test web manual testing procedure on your own. It's a great way to be sure of your own work as you are incrementally moving through remediation and before a full-blown retest. The Arc Toolkit, a Chrome extension, is a great tool to support your remediation. With Toolkit, scan whatever is open within your web browser. You can make changes to, say, a local file and easily rerun a scan and validate your fixes. So let's go to the component, which I already have open in another tab. Open Developer Tools either by using a keyboard shortcut or right-clicking and in the context menu selecting Inspect. Let's select the Arc Toolkit tab and select Run Tests. There's the input has no accessible name issue. That's one of Arc's automated rules. Now, let's select the magnification icon to reveal the elements in the Elements panel. So there's the username. Okay, now let's apply the guidance from the engagement. It said to use the 4ID association between the visual label and the text input. So I'll change the markup and let's see if it passes. Okay, done. Now let's rerun Arc Toolkit scan. Only 2 errors now. Notice the error for the username field is no longer present. However, Arc Toolkit's results are ephemeral. They aren't saved. Now, let's go back to Arc. Let's select the central point workspace. With the Arc platform, you can set up monitoring for the same set of components as evaluated in the audit. For managers, this helps you track remediation, report out your progress to stakeholders, and as you're making code changes, guard against regressions or the incidental introduction of new issues. Now, engagements are generated from the components in an Arc user flow. The flow chart icon here indicates that this is a user flow. An Arc user flow provides instructions on navigating an application and identifies which pages or segments of pages to analyze as components. However, The user flows for the engagement are manual, meaning they are instructions for manual human testers. They're usually not in a format which can be immediately used for automated monitoring. Therefore, to have automated monitoring, you have to create new user flow monitoring dashboards. Under the hood, automated user flows are Selenium scripts. Selenium is a popular library for automated browser testing. Now, to create these scripts for automated monitoring, it helps to have a knowledge of HTML, CSS, and fluency with developer tools. With these design or front-end development skills, you can set up monitoring on your own. Nonetheless, if you're interested in having monitoring set up for your engagement, reach out to your account manager or your point of contact at TPGI. We'll help you get started rapidly. Monitoring is a great and logical topic to discuss at your delivery call.
Getting support.
On that, let's discuss where to get support for your engagement. In the Arc knowledge base, the Arc user guide provides comprehensive documentation for every feature and functionality within the Arc platform. It contains resources on setting up monitoring, navigating your engagement, using Arc's API. The Arc user guide is your first place to look for answers to your Arc questions. The Arc knowledge base contains the full WCAG reference, WCAG tests, and accessible web development modules, which we used earlier. Between all of the different modules in the Arc's knowledge base, there are hundreds of articles on accessibility techniques. Now, moving back to the homepage, scroll down, the carousel here contains a set of quick start videos demonstrating basic Arc actions, such as adding a user, creating a monitoring dashboard. These short videos are a great way to familiarize yourself with Arc's UI. Your engagement may also come with a help desk subscription to get further support during your remediation. You might file a ticket for help locating an element, reproducing an error, or for questions about the remediation guidance. Now, feel empowered to use help desk however it works best for your team. If your engineers want to stage a call about the issue, ask for that in the ticket. The help desk is very much your time. For an engagement, help desk tickets are connected to individual issues in the audit. Therefore, go to the issue where you have more questions, select the Add a Help Desk Ticket button to create a ticket. You'll get access to the accessibility experts who perform the audit and generally receive a response within 24 hours. Shifting gears, let's discuss the other ways to access your audit's results.
Sharing engagement results.
On the engagement dashboard, scroll to the bottom. The engagement documents section provides the engagement report, workbook, and presentation. The presentation is a PowerPoint slide deck which provides a high-level breakdown of the engagement. The presentation is intended for executives, program managers, audiences which won't interact with the engagement at the code level. The report is a Word document which contains the description and the remediation guidance for each issue. The workbook is an Excel spreadsheet, which is similar. It contains the description and remediation guidance for each issue. And it also includes the XPath locators and other information such as the severity levels. Plus, Arc has an API which enables you to export the engagement's assertions in a JSON format. From this format, the results can then be moved to Jira or your preferred bug tracker. For Arc subscribers who have API calls, Arc's settings page contains the credentials to authorize your use of the API. On the settings page, the account code and subscription key allow you to authorize the API. Most likely, the next step is to go to api.tpgarc.com. There, we provide a sandbox for experimenting with the API, including the engagement endpoint. Simply select Authorize and enter your API credentials. Lastly, congratulations to your organization for receiving an engagement. A manual audit is a critical step in delivering an accessible and high-quality online experience. There's many paths to take with the Arc platform. When receiving an engagement, take time to review the platform and understand the resources available. With this foundation of Arc knowledge, your team will work more effectively and accurately in carrying out your remediation. Arc is a resource for your team.